Oh,
Whoa! Not what I expected. Oh, you
dude,
did really well.
you were gonna guess 95
I
proof.
was.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the re-entry buzz. Cole and I here are re-entering our buzz, and you know the deal by now. We've got a blind pour in front of us. No idea what it is. We are going to try to guess what it is, but first we sniff it once, sip it once, give you a hot take, tell you how much we'd pay for it. You ready, Cole?
I'm ready. Ooh, burns the nostrils.
Really? Mine didn't get burnt so much there.
Okay, I think I got the distillery already down.
I might.
I think I know what this is. No,
Oh,
I don't know what this is, but I have a big guess.
how much would you pay?
60?
I think the longer I let the finish go, the more the dollar sign goes down.
Cha-ching. Oh, the other
I'm
way.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the under. I'll say 50.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This is interesting. And I feel like this kind of whiskey is very good for testing who's got it, who's got the
Who's
better
good?
zone in on the taste. So we'll be right back after this break. We'll take our guesses, we'll take our votes or our notes. All right, we'll see you on the other side.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So we got some guesses down here. We're gonna run them by you, but first we're gonna run some notes by you.
First the
Let's see.
notes.
Why don't you
Okay.
go first on your notes,
Okay.
please?
Notes. Here we go. Little youthy, but bourbony. I have something in mind for the distillery.
Ooh.
Well, actually, I just added that myself, but that was more a palate note. So I said little youthy, but definitely bourbony.
Yeah.
First thought on the palate was Heaven Hill, but
Ooh,
not
interesting.
too proofy. Like not Elijah Craig, but also not Henry McKenna. Youthier than Henry McKenna at 10 years. Slightest of banana and nut notes. So like
Ooh,
banana
nice.
nut bread,
I
but
just had
not too
McKenna last night.
strong. Oh, nice. Not too
Yeah.
strong to assume that it was Old Forester or Jack Daniels in terms of the banana nut notes.
Yeah.
Finish, I said this is a little watery on the finish, not too strong. I honestly don't even think this is 100 proof, but it's sweet and slightly nutty and slightly banana-y, but not too much. Hey, Kit Kat.
All right.
So anyway.
I said on the nose, soft vanilla cream, light
Ooh.
red fruit like strawberries.
Strawberries I can get behind.
On the palate, I said classic fruity bourbon. So like bourbon that's more about a light fruity. I also got some good floral on this too. The
Okay.
floral kind of came out as the finish was ramping up. But
Okay.
then the finish is my huge dissatisfaction with this whiskey.
Yeah.
It
It's light.
started to get like a little soapy, a little
Oh.
youthy, like as the
Yeah, for sure.
finish, just as it sits on my palate, the more that I actually kind of dislike it.
Yeah.
Like some whiskeys, the finish just drops off and it's just gone. And you
Mhm.
don't like even taste anything anymore. But this one, I actually tastes that I don't like as the
Ooh.
finish goes on. So
Interesting.
yeah, I stand by my $50-ish guess. I
Yeah.
think that was good. So
Okay.
I will do my guesses first then.
Bring it on.
Type bourbon, secondary
Oh.
grain, rye. So bourbon with a
Oh.
rye.
Okay.
Brand, I said Four Roses.
Oh.
Yeah,
Risky.
I was curious how you would react to that. Distillery, I said Four Roses. Proof, I went with 96.
Okay.
And for age, I said 4 years.
Okay.
Finished, I said no.
Mhm.
And I honed in on, I didn't let a Four Roses product influence my proof or age guess. And so I hedged a bit here, and I did
Okay.
go ahead and say that maybe this is a single barrel proof Four Roses, maybe the OESQ, which is the Q is the floral yeast, which I wrote down. And you might remember earlier I was like, man, I know my stuff, because I was like, which one is the low rye fruity? Is it OESQ? And I got up and I checked a tag, and it was OESQ, sure enough.
Nice.
So for score, I said C- on this score. I said this is barely down into the territory of making me feel like there is something not so great about this. And it is all due to the finish for me.
Gotcha. We're not too far off. The specific guesses like bottled or distillery bottle brand were different, but otherwise we're not too far off. I also said bourbon for the type. I also said secondary grain rye. I went with Heaven Hill on this brand, and I went with Heaven Hill on distillery here.
Ooh.
Hear me out. Proof 90. The more I drank this, the more I was like, it's not even 95. This is 90. And it might be less, to be honest. But there's no, to my knowledge, there's no like standard Heaven Hill bourbon with a rye component that's like less than 90 or less than 100, I think. I can't think of any. Or maybe Elijah Craig standard, now that I think about it. But anyway, age, I said 5 years. So we're close on that. Finished, I also said no. And bottle, I said Heaven Hill 7-year bottled and bond.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel as old as 10 years, but it also feels like to me, it really screams Heaven Hill. But that was the lowest age I could get out of what I could imagine. And then I said score 8.4, also known as C.
Yeah. What was your proof guess one more time?
90. But originally 90. I said 95, but then I actually brought it down to 90.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I am. No, I'm totally ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
Whoa. Not what I expected. Oh, dude, you did really well.
You were going to guess 95 proof.
I was. Okay, so we got a 13th colony. There we go. 13th colony of like a single barrel, I think.
No. Being 95 proof, this is the standard 13th colony bourbon.
Oh, yeah. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Bourbon. So we're on to something. Yeah. This is going to be a crapshoot.
Brian Duncan right here. Shout out to Brian Duncan.
Hey, love that guy. Dude, Brian, let me just say real quick before we go to break. I thought about this. One of the best whiskeys I've ever had, Heavenly Realm, was William LaRue Weller 2021. Brian was not only willing to share his bottle of 2021 William LaRue Weller, he was willing to add 2 samples to our pool. So let me just tell you, he's a baller. That dude's a baller.
Let me just scroll up in my text thread real quick here. Nice. Brian Duncan says, just got confirmation that I've got a backup to my William LaRue Weller 2021.
Nice. I'm happy for him because that's a score right there. I hope he got it for a reasonable price, but
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, that's a score. Yeah, good for that guy. Love Brian. Let's send it to break. We'll count our guesses.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So we tallied up the votes and the scores, and I won. Thank you very much.
Oh, I put it right out there. I was putting on the smile to throw him off.
It's because you're so happy that I won. Yeah, I appreciate your enthusiasm here. But with a final score of 24-19, Brian won this round because, what's the big difference here? Brian kind of got closer on the proof. Brian got a little closer on the age too, actually.
Yeah.
So we both knew it was bourbon. We both knew it was secondary grain rye. But our distillery guesses, this was 13th Colony. This was MGP. So Cole's
Mhm.
guess of Heaven Hill and my guess of Four Roses, nah, no points. Cole guessed 90 proof, so he was 5 off. I guessed 96, so I was only 1 off.
That was
Uh,
close.
age, I almost said MGP. The 13th colony explicitly states that these are minimum 4 years. Therefore, the age statement is 4 years. So I said 4, and I got 5 points there. Cole said 5, and he
Nice.
got 4 points. Hope you're tracking. Hope that wasn't confusing at all. We both knew that this was not finished. 2 points. Bottle guesses, we were wrong. This was the 13th colony straight up bourbon. 4 years, 95 proof. So
Okay.
yeah, we were both pretty much on the same page with how good we thought
Mhm.
this was. Cole said C, I said C minus. This is just kind of like a very standard shelfer. And actually, we were both pretty far over on our price we'd pay
Yeah.
too. Because I want to
What is
say
the
this
price on this?
is like a
40?
35,
Oh,
35
wow.
to $45 bottle is
That's
somewhere right around there.
that's a
So
great price. Yeah.
being a shelfer like that
Oh.
and being priced down that way, like I see that the value is here on this one. So
Mhm.
I guess I wouldn't race out to pick one up, but if you
Yeah.
were at the store and you had a slot to fill on your shelf of
Yeah.
like, I just need a
Do
cheap,
a
like maybe
30er.
even mixer too, like this
Yeah.
one's gonna fit the bill. So
It
that's
will.
what we thought overall.
Man, so that just man, I got 3 episodes in a row, and you got the last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
So,
coming
but
back,
the point
bringing it, bringing
value,
it,
let me
bringing it back.
just say,
Oh, is
so
it?
points wise this season, I'm up 106 to 59,
Oh my
but you
gosh.
have 2 wins and I have 3 wins. So,
Oh man, all 3 of your
yeah,
wins were like landslides. In episode
yeah,
1 was 47 to 13. Goodness. All right.
yeah. So,
Good job.
but that was
Good job.
because I nailed the bottle guess and everything because I
That's
luckily knew
true.
what that was. Yeah,
That's
but
true. Good work.
listeners, or viewers, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next time. Hopefully Bryan doesn't tie it up next episode, but if he does, it'll make for good television. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next time on Chill Filters, the Reentry Buzz.
Yeah, there's nothing better when you give someone a shout out in an episode and they actually like
Mhm.
leave a comment within 24
Yeah.
hours. It like makes
Mhm.
my day.
Yeah.